Happy Friday, Piney Ridge Church. This is supposed to be my weekly Friday video, but I didn't get around to doing it last week, so I apologize for that. I wanted to talk to you today about the book of Daniel just briefly. I studied the book of Daniel a couple of weeks ago, and I love that book. There's so much richness in the book. I love chapter 3, Nebuchadnezzar's golden image, where Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they're so confident in their God and so determined that even if they know that God can rescue them, but even if he doesn't rescue them, they are still not going to bow down before Nebuchadnezzar's image. I love their faith and their confidence in that chapter. But today I want to talk about chapter 9. Chapter 9 is where Daniel prays for his nation. They have been in exile now for 70 years. And that is the time period that God had said through the prophet Jeremiah that they must be in captivity. And he's now praying, he's saying, well, Lord, now the time is up. But he doesn't just get angry and look around and say, God's not doing what he said he was going to do. No, what he does is he prays. He says, God, you have said this is what is going to happen. And so now I'm praying that you will do it. But before he asks God to return them to Jerusalem, he first confesses the sin of his nation. And so if you want to read that prayer, it's in Daniel 9. It starts off this way. O Lord, the great and awesome God who keeps covenant and steadfast love with those who love him and keep his commandments. We have sinned and done wrong and acted wickedly and rebelled, turning aside from your commandments and rules. And I just couldn't help but think about the United States of America when I read that. Sandy and I watched the movie Unplanned last week, and it just hit me so hard. It hit me like a gut punch. The abortion that goes on in our nation day after day after day, and has been happening for legally for almost 50 years now. And the thousands upon thousands upon thousands of little babies that have been slaughtered, massacred. And this is a sin on our nation. And so I began confessing some of the sin of our nation, about our racism and the division that we see politically and economically as well as racially in our nation. And then of course, as I mentioned, the rampant sin of abortion, the rampant sex trade, the slavery, the greed, the pride, the arrogance, the murder that goes on in the United States of America. And I've just been confessing that to God and asking God to bring revival to the United States of America. And God, just sweep over this nation like you did during the Great Awakening and turn hearts to yourself. And let me be a part of it. Let me be a part of this great revival. First of all, start that revival in me, and then break my heart for those that are around me that don't know you as their Savior, and give me a passion to go to them and proclaim the gospel of Jesus Christ to them. So I encourage you to read Daniel 9 and God's answer to Daniel. But I also encourage you to just start praying for our nation. Join me in praying for our nation. Join me in praying for the city of Wentzville. Join me in praying for our church that we will fulfill our mission in the community of Wentzville to make disciples, to glorify God by making disciples of Jesus Christ, both in our community and around the world. Won't you join me in praying? I hope to see you Sunday, Piney Ridge. Have a great weekend.